It's not raining, so I've decided to swipe at the opportunity. So yeah, at the moment it's not raining, but who knows, the weather is probably going to change because I've just started streaming. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Here for a bit of fun, aren't we? It's just a bit of fun in the end, ranking all the Premier League managers. There they all are on screen. By the way, I don't know all their names. I know most of them, but yeah, let's rank them, and we're gonna do like an actual ranking, or we're gonna try to anyway, like number 1 and number 20. So let's go, says Ali Lolo. Yes, finally live. OBS was just being strange, hence the delay, but we're here. There's a storm coming towards your city. Oh man, I hope your Wi-Fi don't go dodgy. Otherwise then you won't be able to access the internet or anything like that. But hopefully it ain't too bad for you, unless you like rain, maybe you like going out in the rain. I know some people that do, and literally will go and walk around. Ali Lolo, straight to the point. Pep number 1. Well, I'll let you know my thoughts on that soon. Let's just say I don't think we're too far apart from each other. But we'll start with the order I've done it in, and which does mean a couple of decent managers are closer to the bottom, but no worries. But anyway, here we go. So, Pep Guardiola, City's manager, of course. Yeah, he is the best manager in the Premier League. Let's just be real, he is. He's a great manager. He's won 5 Premier Leagues at City in 7 years, which is just unbelievable. He won the treble with City last season. He's won the domestic quadruple. He's gotten Centurions, which is 100 points in a season. He is unbelievable. He's just won the Super Cup with City as well, so he's genuinely superb. The signings he makes are usually great. People go on about the money, but tons of other clubs have spent similar money. They just haven't spent it as well as us, so it's not all about the money with Pep. But yeah, Pep Guardiola, seriously great manager. It's not a debate in the end. He is better than the rest. I'm not trying to offend Jurgen Klopp when I say that, or Mikel Arteta, or anyone else. But Pep is just better than the rest. He is far above the rest. He's a different league. He's in the Sir Alex Ferguson bracket for me, But he is the best of the best, Pep, and I think he will retire when he eventually retires, because he's not going to keep doing this forever, of course. But when Pep retires, he will be in the bracket of Sir Alex Ferguson, and maybe even in a bracket beyond that. He's that good. But yeah, Pep Guardiola number 1. You're saying Ten Hag is the worst manager in the league. Okay, we'll get onto it. But Jurgen Klopp is next on our list. I think Jurgen Klopp's a good manager, and I actually think he's number 2. I think he is really good. I think he's a top coach, and Liverpool fans, they go on about how Klopp doesn't get the funds and doesn't spend anywhere near as much as Pep. And while that may be true, he doesn't get the funds, Jurgen Klopp. There's no secret. That may be true to an extent, but Jurgen Klopp, I think he is good. I think he is. I don't think he was really thinking about the outgoings. yeah, he was good for Dortmund. He obviously had that 1 year towards the end of it all, where it all crumbled for him, and he's had a couple of dodgy years at Liverpool, being last year and the 2021 season. So yeah, Jurgen Klopp is number 2. He is, again, he's really good. I don't think he's in the same bracket as Pep, but I think he's a top coach, and I think any team in the world would want him, or most teams in the world, you know. Obviously not City, because we have the best coach. But yeah, Jurgen Klopp's that good. He can find players that not many are speaking about, and then turn them into just great players. I think that is one of his biggest talents. You know, that's what Liverpool fans try to say when they're comparing Liverpool to City, but I don't think it's all that valid, because I think Pep can do that as well. You know, like, how many people knew of Leroy Sané before he joined City? Sure, there'd be German fans that knew, and maybe the odd fan all around, but no one knew that Leroy Sané would do the stuff that he did at City, did they? You know, and Pep's made some great signings, and he can do what Klopp has done. You know, I'm confident about that. Arteta is 3rd just because he's stolen knowledge from the GOAT. Yeah. I do think Arteta, you know, it's been pretty straightforward at the moment. Arteta is the 3rd best coach in the league, and you've almost hit the nail on the head. He was literally Pep's assistant for a couple of years, you know. He was directly learning under Pep, so it's no wonder that he's come to Arsenal. He's been able to do this with his squad. You know, you can only take a bow for Arteta, because Arteta's done a good job at Arsenal, but, you know, it's even more reason for Pep to take a bow, because, you know, he's just created a great manager in Arteta. Arteta clearly had a goal at Arsenal, and he's finally being able to achieve it to some extent. But Arteta's 3rd. He's got a good style of play, and his signings are pretty good too. On to Unai Emery of Villa. I think he is, if I really think about all the coaches on here, because I haven't got like my own list or anything, I think Unai Emery... Oh, Wenger was better for Arsenal. Wenger is one of those big managers that go down in history. Not saying Arteta won't, but he's a top manager. You know, he's up there with Fergie, isn't he? Wenger. He is really good. Apologies for the bird if you can hear it. But Unai Emery... I'll say Unai Emery's 6th. I think he's good. You know, Unai Emery, he won Europa Leagues for fun, didn't he? So, I think he's good. I think it's 4th is the Tottenham manager. That's interesting. I will speak about that soon. But Unai Emery, I'm saying, is 6th. I think he's a good coach. Wins the Europa League for fun, doesn't he? So yeah. Unai Emery, great coach. And I think I don't know about you, but I think Aston Villa will walk the Conference League. I think that's just going to be so easy for Unai Emery. De Zerbi. I think De Zerbi's great, and he's going to be one of those Brighton coaches that, if not this season or next season, you know, in the 24-25 season, you could see De Zerbi going to a top club. You know, that I think that is the kind of manager he is. I wouldn't be surprised if a club goes in for him next summer. De Zerbi is really good, and it gets tricky. It's beginning to get a little tricky because I'm trying to be fair to all the other great coaches in this league. Just because I want to see how De Zerbi does in Europe with Brighton this season, I'm going to put him 7th. But Unai Emery is a really good coach. No, De Zerbi is a great coach, my bad. 6th for you. Alright, so we're in the same area. I said Unai Emery 6th. You've put him 5th, and I've put De Zerbi 7th, and you've put him 6th. So we're floating around the same kind of place, aren't we? Yeah, De Zerbi's really shown great signs at Brighton. Will there be another Graham Potter? Don't think so. I think Graham Potter's just a disaster. But you know, I think De Zerbi will be going to the top and the biggest of clubs in the following season. 5th, I'll get onto that soon. We're gonna go to Thomas Frank now. Thomas Frank is really good. I think he is really, really great. Then the finishes he's had with Brentford are actually ridiculous, guys. Like, I cannot state it enough. Let me have a look at the Premier League table. Because he got the double over City last year, beat his home and away. You know, you can only compliment him for that. Last season, finished 9th. I know he had Ivan Toney, and Ivan Toney's obviously a huge help for Brentford. But, you know, 9th last season, just 2 points off European football. Thomas 7th. I'm going to say Thomas is 8th. 'Cause, again, I think he's really good. So who's next? Erik ten Hag. I know Ali Lolo doesn't like him. See, I'm not gonna lie to you. Right? I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. I remember thinking a while back, if Pep leaves, who would I like City to join? Who would I like City to get as their next manager? If Pep was to leave, like, I think I was thinking this in 2020 or 2021. Yeah, if Pep leaves, who do you bring in to replace him? Because it's a big call. And, you know, I was saying in my head, is Luis Enrique a shout? Is Pochettino a shout? And, you know, a couple of other names. And I did say in my head, I did say that Ten Hag was actually up there for me. You know, I thought, because I think Ten Hag was really good at Ajax. I don't think his work at Ajax should go unnoted for. You know, he went on that great run in the Champions League with them in the 18-19 season, where they got unlucky and lost to Spurs in the semi-final. If not for that, they would have been in the final, you know. So, you could say that is, and maybe they just had a really lucky set of players, because they had the players they had were phenomenal, you know. But some of it comes down to the manager. And whilst I think Ten Hag has got his flaws, oh, it's so tricky. You know what? I'm going to budge my ratings a little bit. I know this might be cheating or whatever, but it is a bit of a mess for United this season. it is a dodgy one. You know, I'm now complimenting him on Ajax, but it's strange for United. But I do think Erik ten Hag has improved United. You know, if you're comparing Ten Hag to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Rangnick, you know, the past two managers before him, then I think you take Ten Hag every day of the week. You know, he's improved United massively. There were flaws, undoubtedly, but United got 75 points last season, making them finish third. And the season before that, they got 58, you know? So, I do think there's improvement for United. And I think some of the stuff Ten Hag has done has actually been correct, you know? He shoved Ronaldo out, which he needed to because Ronaldo was clearly out of line. But there are things I don't agree with how he throws players under the bus. I think he's treated Jadon Sancho really badly. I think he's not treated. He needs to just be ruthless with some players. You know, if you're gonna treat if you're gonna treat Sancho like how he's treated him, which he hasn't treated him very well, then at that point just get him out. You know. Oh man, you got no idea. You know what? I'm gonna change my ratings a bit. So Unai Emery is staying 6th. Ten Hag is going 7th. De Zerbi's going 8th, and Thomas Frank is going 9th. That's my new rating. So Ten Hag is 7th for me. Because there's some stuff he's getting right and there's some stuff he's not. And he needs to improve upon those stuff. But other than that, we'll move on. Vincent Kompany, look, he's had one season in charge, and it was in charge of Burnley in the Championship. Let's be honest, most people expected Burnley to come back up, and Burnley just did it, and Kompany just did it in a really good way. It's worrying. I am a bit worried for Burnley. You know, and I'm worried for Vincent Kompany because has he even picked up a point this season? 23-24. No, he's not picked up a point. His side has scored 3 goals in 3 matches and they've conceded 11 goals. So it's not looking all that great. I'm just going to write down my rankings so far. It's not looking good for Burnley. Look, Vincent Kompany is clearly something. There's clearly something good about Kompany. There is clearly something good. He's clearly got a vision, you know, and it's an interesting one for Burnley, and I think he's a wise guy, Kompany, and I want him to do well this season. It's just not been the dream start, let's be honest. For now, you know, this might change later. Just writing down my ratings, my rankings either. So number 1 was Pep, Klopp, Arteta. Then 6th was Emery, Ten Hag, De Zerbi. Thomas Frank. Look, I don't think Kompany's the worst manager in the Prem either, though. So, for now, because I'm worried about him, I'm gonna put him 15th. You know, I love Vincent Kompany, but I'm trying to rate him on a manager alone. And for now, he's 15th. I have faith in him. You know, I really want him to do well, and I hope that he'll prove me wrong. But I can't help but be worried for Kompany. So yeah, Kompany is 15th for me. Yeah, a lot lower than you. You said 11th, so not too much lower, but still a bit lower. But we will jump on to the next one. Sean Dyche. He's a solid manager. He's struggling at Everton. Sean Dyche is... Sean Dyche is 13th. Sean Dyche is 13th. Rain's coming down a bit more, guys. It's not too loud, but you know, it might become noticeable if it keeps up the way it's going. Now then, Postecoglou of Tottenham. Here's the thing. Okay, it's been a good start for Tottenham, and they're second in the Premier League on goal difference, but they're still second. They've picked up 10 points out of their 4 games, which means 3 wins and 1 draw, which means they are unbeaten, so it's a great start. Offensively, they've been good with 11 goals, 4 goals conceded, which is tied most out of the top 5. So, you know, it's not that bad, 4 goals. If 4 goals in 4 games, you know, and 2 of them were against Brentford, and then 2 of them were against Burnley. So, he's 4th for you. My thing is, I actually, Postecoglou has pleasantly surprised me. But he needs to continue to surprise me. If he can really prove himself at this level, you know, because there's clearly something about him. He's changed the way Tottenham plays. So I do think there's something in him, and I think that I actually don't think he's gonna get sacked. I did when he was appointed. I was like, who is this guy? They're bringing on like another Nuno Espirito, but I don't think he's gonna get sacked. But saying that, I don't think he is. I don't think he's all that either. Oh. He's 5th. Actually, no, he's 6th and Emery is 5th. Emery's going up to 5th. Emery's 5th. Andrew Postecoglou is 6th. He's better than Conte. Well, Conte's play at Tottenham. Conte is a good coach in the Serie A. But, I'm sorry, but Conte plays some of the most boring football I've ever seen, and that just like really changes how I look at a manager. He is better than Conte. So far, so good. So Ange is 6th, which I think that's a pretty good rating for someone that's just come into the league and is 4 games in. And the good thing is for him this season, he doesn't have to worry about Europe. The Premier League is his primary focus, and his focus should be trying to get Spurs back into the Champions League. I think top 4 for him is a massive season, super successful. But I think Europa League at the very least for Tottenham is what they need to aim for. But yeah, Ange Postecoglou has done a fine job so far. Now then, on to Mauricio Pochettino. Oh, here's the thing. I think Pochettino is a good manager, but he's only good. He's nothing more and he's nothing less. He is a good coach, and I feel bad for him so far because I think most people could walk into Chelsea and be in the similar situation he's in. He's gotten 4 points in 4 games. You know, the team he has beaten is Luton Town, which everyone has capped to go relegated at the bottom of the league this season. So you'd kind of expect him to beat. What club does Conte manage? If you ask him what club Conte manages, then it's I don't think he's got a club at the moment. I don't believe so. Yeah, Pochettino manages Chelsea. My bad. I think Pochettino is a good coach. He's just it's a terrible situation. Chelsea's such a mess. But it's so tricky. Look, I remember watching a YouTuber and they put this perfectly. Thing is with Pochettino, he's old news. You know, a few years ago he was considered a top coach. If he was a top coach, then PSG wouldn't have gotten rid of him. You know, because PSG, they had him for, 2 seasons? A season? I can't remember. And they got rid of him. Because Pochettino is old news. He's not that good. I'm going to say Pochettino is 10th. He could prove me wrong. Pochettino, 10th. 12th for you. You say? I put him 10th because I respect what he's done at Spurs because he did a decent job at Spurs. I just think he's in a really bad situation. So I'm putting him 10th. And Deitch for me is 13th, yeah. So we agree there. Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe's a good... I actually think Eddie Howe's a really good coach. And I think he's done great things at Newcastle so far. It's not been a good start by any means, picking up 3 points in 4 games. But to be fair to Newcastle, they've not been given the kindest fixtures either. Playing Villa on opening day, that's a tough game, but they eased through it 5-1. Then they had to play City. Then they had to play Liverpool. And playing against Liverpool, they should have won that game. And it's embarrassing that they didn't, because Liverpool down to 10 men most of the game and they bottled it. Still Newcastle. So not good on that area either. And then Brighton. They are 4 teams you would not want to face in your opening fixtures. They've even got Brentford coming up, and Brentford, who are probably better than the rest of the teams. Not as good as the rest of the teams that they've had to play, but Brentford is still a solid team. I think Eddie Howe's a good coach. I think Eddie Howe's really good. It's worrying because last season Newcastle had 5 defeats in total, and so far they've had 3 in the first 4 games. So, although I'm not too excited over Eddie Howe's Newcastle, I'm gonna say. See, I've got this 4th spot open. 11th for you. You think Eddie Howe's 11th? Let me have a look at the remaining coaches. Let me try put this piece to piece. Okay. Alright, I'm changing my list massively. Well, it's not massive, it's more, everyone's just moving a little bit. Alright then, this is my list now. So top threes remain the same with Pep, Klopp, Arteta. Then it's Emery at 4th. Then it's Postecoglou at 5th. 6th Ten Hag. 7th De Zerbi. 8th Frank. 9th Poch. 10th Eddie Howe. Now I'm getting into difficult area. Roy Hodgson, I think he is a solid coach, and I'm going to say Roy Hodgson is 12th, just above Dyche. Hodgson. Yeah, Roy Hodgson 12th. He's done a decent job at Palace since he's come in. He's on 7 points. He's suffered one defeat this season, which, to be fair, was against Arsenal. So, not been handed the best cards there. And he came in to. He came into Crystal Palace last season when they were in dire need of a manager. He came in and he sorted them out, let's be real. He fixed them. He fixed them up. He fixed them up good. So, Roy Hodgson 12th. I don't think he's great, but I think he's a little better than Sean Dyche. Dyche 14th and Palace 13th. Okay, yeah. Next, Gary O'Neill. He did a good job with Bournemouth. He did a good job. But again, he's not too proven. It's been difficult to see with him. Gary O'Neill. Oh wait, no. Yeah, the Wolves coach, Gary O'Neill. Yeah, that's him. He did a good job with Bournemouth. He got sacked for some reason. I'm not sure why. And now he's at Wolves. Wolves this season have picked up 3 points with 1 win. Let's have a look at what seems to be their issue. Well, they played United opening game at Old Trafford, lost narrowly 1-0, quite a late goal as well, so not too bad there. Then they got battered by Brighton, squeezed past Everton, smashed Blackpool in the EFL Cup, and then Palace beat them in a 5-goal thriller, it seems, 3-2. So, a difficult one for Gary O'Neill. I'm going to say Gary O'Neill is 14th between Dyche and company. Gary O'Neill. There it is, written down. 14th, Gary O'Neill. Now then, we go to... it's the Sheffield United coach. I don't know his name. Sheffield United coach. I don't know him. That's the problem here. He had a good year. He had a decent year at at Sheffield last year. You know, made some good signings. You know, bought Tommy Doyle and James McAtee in on loan. He's bought James McAtee back on loan from City, which is big. Sheffield United coach. I don't know his name, sadly, guys. Just trying to think. Oh man, my list is gonna need to change. Oh yeah, guys, my list is in need of change. I just looked at previous managers, and my list is definitely changing. You know, let me write down my stuff now, so I can plan a bit ahead. You can go there. Yeah, you're gonna have to move. There. So there. So who remains? Oh, nah, that's still not good. Okay. There. There. There we go, we're getting somewhere now, guys. Here we go. Alright, my list has changed quite a bit. A couple of managers have been done dirty, but sadly it is what it is. Rain's coming down a bit harder now, guys. Apologies if you have to hear that. Alright, there we go. My list is completed. I'll read it. I'll finish off talking. Back to 149 subs. It's no biggie. We did hit it at one point though, but yeah, no biggie. Okay, yeah, I've had to change up my list a bit, like my entire top 10 I'm talking. I won't say my 11th yet, I won't say my 12th, but Roy Hodgson's now 13th. I won't say my 14th. Deitch is 15th. O'Neill is 16th. Company 17th. And the Sheffield United coach is 19th for me. Yeah, it's not personal, but the Sheffield United coach is 19th. I don't really know him, but I don't know, I think there is better. I think there's definitely better. 19th for me. We will go forward now onto who's next? The Luton Town coach, in case you're wondering who that guy is with the green background. Luton Town, just like where they're going to finish in the Premier League for me this season, they're 20th for me. Rob Edwards, 20th. Yeah, Rob Edwards, 20th. Nothing really inspiring with Luton this man. That rain is really coming down now. I'll try wrap this up pretty quick. Apologies for the rain, guys. If I could control the weather, I would, but I can't. Yeah, but Rob Edwards 20th. Don't really need to elaborate more on that. Next up, David Moyes. I've put 11th. You know, he's a good coach for West Ham. Yeah, David Moyes is 11th. Just won European silverware, so you can't really diss him for it. Last season wasn't good, obviously it wasn't. But this season they've had a good start, and the only way will be up for them now, I think. But yeah, David Moyes, 11th. Good coach. And yeah, David Moyes is where he belongs at 11th. On to Marco Silva. Yeah, my list is messy too. I've had to change it so much. Marco Silva, I've put him at 12th. Fulham coach, seems pretty decent. I question his choice in signing Iwobi and Raul Jimenez in replacement for Mitrovic. You know, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, good coach, Marco Silva. I think it was good of him to reject Al Hilal. Wasn't it Al Hilal that wanted him to be their manager? I like that he rejected them. You know, he's playing in the biggest league in the world. Why would he go and manage in Saudi Arabia? But yeah, Marco Silva, 12th. On to Steve Cooper. I put him at 14th. I think he's a solid coach. You can see what he's trying to do. He made all those signings last year, and he just needed to get through last year in the Premier League, and he's just about managed to. So they've had a really good start to the season, Nottingham Forest. You know, they're on 6 points, 2 wins, 2 losses. So, you know, and they almost beat United away from home. So, yeah, Steve Cooper, good coach, and I think it was good of Nottingham Forest to stick with him. And on to our final one, which is the Bournemouth coach. I know nothing about him, if you want the truth. Bournemouth have picked up 2 points so far, so it's not that inspiring for Bournemouth at the moment. But for now, I put the Bournemouth coach 18th because I don't think I've never heard of the guy before, and I've forgotten his name. I think it's like hard. I don't even know. But that concludes my list. I'll read it out to you guys real quick, so you guys can just hear it one more time. So Pep Guardiola at first, Klopp at second, Arteta third, Unai Emery fourth, Andrei Postecoglou at fifth, Ten Hag at sixth, De Zerbi at seventh, Thomas Frank at eighth, Pochettino at ninth, Eddie Howe at 10th, David Moyes at 11th, Marco Silva at 12th, Roy Hodgson at 11th, Steve Cooper at 14th, Sean Dyche at 15th, Gary O'Neill 16th, Vincent Kompany 17th, Bournemouth coach 18th, Sheffield United coach 19th, Rob Edwards of Luton Town 20th. And that concludes our video, guys. Thank you for tuning in, Ali, though. You're the only one who has tuned in today, it seems. You know, but I can only thank you for it. Your support has been great recently. So, yeah, thank you for watching today, Ali, though. Leave any stream ideas you've got in the community posts, because I will read them and all that. You know, MCFR, he put a bunch in not long ago, and I used a bunch of them, so feel free to leave a comment asking for me to do certain content. But, you know, thank you all for, thank you Ali Lola for watching, and if you're watching this back, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Your support is great as usual. We're off 150 subs now, we're on 149, but hopefully the only way is up. Thank you all for watching.